Hello, beautiful one. Oh, it feels so good to breathe. In the warmth, nature, the soft sounds of the birds and the leaves, occasional car driving by. I love it. Bliss. Just dance super hard, shake everything out, clear the avatar up a bit, feeling good. So I just want to share some things that I've been learning and coming through, and just, whatever this transmission wants to be, here we are. So, the biggest breakthrough that I've been having lately is around worthiness. So if you're somebody that a big part of this probably applies to almost everyone, if not everyone, but I feel like we all have certain karmic matrices, if you will, that we come here specifically to experience and learn, extreme lack or extreme poverty or extreme this and that we, everybody, no matter who you see, you might think that you want to trade in yours for someone else's, but there's a reason you have yours. You might struggle with something that someone else is getting naturally, but at the same time, you might naturally have a, ease in an area of life where someone else, it's like super, super challenging. There's a cardinal. I saw a big bald eagle swoop in front of me yesterday. That seems relevant to this message. Every time I see an eagle, it's like so symbolic for that freedom. But anyways, so for me, I think one of the biggest ones has always been worthiness and anything around that. So if that's you, if you have an issue realizing that you are worthy of everything your heart desires, you are worthy of all the joy, all the fulfillment, all the love, all the peace, freedom, health, abundance, everything you want, truly. I can already feel like the little like lower energies wanting to be like, you're not worthy, I'm not worthy. But literally that's the illusion. That's the hell realm shit that we have to see. And if you're like me, choose that, hey, I don't want to play in this anymore. There's something else. I'm telling you, and there is something else. And there's so many examples of it everywhere. People that can mirror that back to you and help you. But ultimately, you have to make that choice and go through those initiations or quantum leaps and do the inner work or play, I prefer to say. But it is challenging at times because you just have to get over your programming at all costs, pretty much, to be free again and liberated. And you're always free. You're already free. You just have these clouds in your mind that are creating these scenarios or these paradigms or these thoughts. And if you're not on this level with me right now and you're like, no, I can't, I'm not doing that, then just unsubscribe right now, because this is not my point here. We're here to go right into it. I want to go right into it with the people that want to go right into it, with the people that are willing to test the field and be pioneers of what's possible. So if you're still in victim consciousness and you don't care, you just want to be a victim, then just unsubscribe right now, because you don't need to be here. There's plenty of other people that will give you that. But I don't give myself that, and I'm not giving you that, because it's just, we're past that. Anyways, so what I've really been learning about worthiness, because for me it's been a big theme, and so, there's many iterations over my lifetime that I've been learning deeper, I am worthy, and just seeing the ways that I myself subconsciously, because this is what we do, and this is the real shit. If you're really ready to get real with yourself and take responsibility, if you really want to live the life of your dreams, this is literally what it costs. And anyone who's living the life of their dreams will tell you this, even if they make it look easy. And maybe some people's paths, they came here incarnated here with an easier path, but you have the path you have for a reason. You chose it for a reason, and when you remember that and accept that, it becomes a lot more easy. But so so what I've been seeing with the unworthiness is the ways that like I have cut myself off from experiencing like the things that I want to experience in any scenario. You know, if I want to experience, you know, this deeper love, you know, deeper love in myself or in my relationships, or greater abundance, whether that be, you know, like just being abundant mindset, or like actual financial prosperity, which we all can have and do 100%, no matter who you are. Or if it's like anything, like some kind of creation that I want to create, some kind of project or mission or pilgrimage, or literally anything you can think of. If you have unworthiness issues, this is probably what you do, because this is what I always was doing. Is I would, the things that I really wanted, it's this really interesting conflict. You know, because the way that, you know, I'm all over the place, but it's all connected. But I'll just say this first, is like oftentimes with unworthiness, you have these like really, really deep inner conflicts that come up where like you want one thing, but then you don't believe that you deserve to have the thing that you want. And so now there's an inner conflict. And this might be conscious or subconscious, because all this stuff that you're creating in your reality that's unfavorable to you is just your subconscious creating things because of your whatever, your programming. Maybe it's like from your environment, from your childhood, from your bloodline. Maybe it's even something deeper from like, you know, your soul's intention or history, or what it wants to learn. Everything connects. But anyways, so I'm just realizing how there's been this sort of conflict that just was revealed to me on a deeper level of like, I want one thing, but then there's this whole part of me that was unconscious that's now conscious, that I'm seeing, because that's kind of just all shadows are, right? It's like once you shine a light on the shadow, it's not a shadow anymore. It's just that stuff that we don't really want to see or be honest with ourselves about. Or if we're really in the dark, we can't see it. And that's why, you know, you just have to really learn how to cultivate that light in yourself, whether it's through movement, meditation, you know, eating in ways that are assisting your body and avatar to be clear, you know, rather than bogging yourself down with this other stuff that just will make you too heavy, makes it harder to see, you know, because again, that's the problem that I shouldn't say problem, it's just the experience, but that's something that I think it happens is people are just, again, it's like there's a state where everything is already perfect, that we can all tap into at any given moment if we really, in a way, have the devotion and discipline to practice and again be those pioneers and dare to see what's possible. But there's just this sort of fog often around the mind of hate, self-hatred, self-doubt, fear, arrogance and pride, whatever, despair, anger. And it's okay to feel all this stuff, you know, I say that all the time. That's a part of the cultivating light, is learning to flow with all the stuff that comes up. And instead of judging it or attacking it or resisting it, just learn to dance with it and flow with it, because it'll come, it can leave just as fast as it came when you move through it with that flow mentality. So I guess my point here is to just, you know, if you're someone too with unworthiness, and you're feeling frustrated, check in with yourself to see if you're not doing that. If you're not having these conflicts of like, I want this thing, I want this dream job, I want to live my soul's purpose, I want this abundance, I want this relationship. But then when you actually go to do it, there's like this part of you that's like, I don't deserve that. I can't have that. It just can't be. It's never happened. I don't ever get that. I can't get that. I just can't get that. It's sort of still that victim mentality. Because this is what I'm really trying to tell people and liberate your mind, because this is the truth. You can have all that stuff. It's only you that's cutting yourself off from it. And like that can be painful, but is that not the way that it is with everything in this world? And you can see this in yourself and in others, because everyone's a mirror. Can you not see the way that we block ourselves and then want to blame God or like blame others or blame the circumstances? What if you just stop doing that? You know, what if you actually just really stopped doing that and really took responsibility for every freaking thing, even if it hurts, even if it's like, damn, because it does hurt. I've been through it, you know. It does hurt when you have those points when you realize like, oh, I'm the problem. But God, is that liberating? That's when you really start to play the game. When you realize that it's always been you versus you. And who even are you? That's a good question. Who even are you? That's the question. So, yeah. I feel like setting this down and just having a little chat. Let's see, does this work? You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You are. Wherever you are, whoever you are. I feel like smoking a little bit of tobacco today. I never used to do this on the camera because, again, I would have this like whole internal conflict of like, oh my God, people are going to judge me or think a certain way or like think I'm promoting this, but it's just part of who I am and it's okay, you know? I love some good tobacco every now and then, especially when I'm sharing these things. It's fun for me. So anyways, that's not the point. It's just a little piece of my actual personality, I guess. So here's the counsel that I want to share that I've been learning about all that, because I want to make this very simple. That's my thing. There's a certain point and certain times when, yeah, it's helpful to go into the mind and do all this kind of thing, but I think you also want to be careful you're not wasting your own time in a way with all this, because the mind is the problem. The mind is really the problem, but the mind is also the tool, you know, the tool of consciousness to create, and you're creating your reality. Again, when you really take responsibility for that again and again and again, it's just becomes so clear, and that's really like how you can be free. And that's why, you know, that's the real need to let the ego die. You have to die for this, not literally, but metaphorically, again and again, you have to let your old identity die to what is being birthed, which is, you know, I want to say a more free version of you, a more real version of you, a version of you that's always been there, you know, before the programming of Earth really like grabbed on, and you grabbed onto it, and that's okay. We all do it, right? It's the game we play here, and that's how we grow and learn and evolve and experience, and then we get to help others too, you know. Everything I've ever experienced, my greatest grief, my greatest losses, my greatest tribulations, you know, have always turned out to be my greatest lessons. So just remember that. And then when I'm going through something, like I try to remember that. And the more you do this and know this, the more you can transmute that stuff at the speed of light. So anyways, what I would say, what I've been doing and learning and experiencing this freedom is to start really living on the edge of what you think you deserve and what you're worthy of. And what I mean by that, to be very clear, is to basically start to open up your heart and mind as much as you can as a practice every time. And the thing is God's going to give you the opportunities. Everything's already happening for you 100%. You don't even have to go out and do anything. It's going to come to you. And that's why you have to be humble, because you might not even understand or recognize it at first until you really get this embodied, this remembrance, this knowing is embodied enough to where you know nothing's a coincidence. Everything's happening for you. And these things that are challenging you are trying to get you to wake up and open up and give you the knowing and the remembrance and the skills that you need to get what you want on a deeper level. So the advice, I mean, if I should say advice, my experience is to live on the edge of what you think you deserve. Open up and realize you are worthy of the things you want. What's blocking you? Why do you think you can't have these things? What if you could have these things, truly? What if it does get to be easy for you? What if it does get to be abundant for you? And do this inner work, because when you attune in this inner work, your outer will truly shift for you. We have free will. So there's this kind of thing that if you don't believe you're worthy, then you're going to experience that unworthiness. And I know that might seem unfair, but that's just sort of like the physics of this reality. And it's neutral. It's not trying to hurt you. It's just how it is. We've just forgotten so deeply. And again, we've been programmed in such a way that such a density that it's been hard for us to see this truth. But that's how we become free. You are worthy because you exist. How many times have people told you that? But it's the truth. You are a child of God. You're incredible. You're amazing. You are it. You are it. Everything you want, you think you need, you are it already. You are extremely special, and at the same time, you're not special. You're normal, because we're all special. Every single one of us is the same. You know, it's just a matter of remembering that and embodying that unapologetically again. And with the people struggling with unworthiness, so let me just give some examples. When you don't think you're worthy, it's just so interesting how much we I almost want to say sabotage ourselves. It's really in the subconscious though. It's like when you don't think you're worthy, but you want to be worthy, you want these things, but you have this inner conflict going on of I can't have it, I don't deserve it, I'm not good enough, I have to prove myself. It's actually very insecure energy, because you're also in a way often trying to prove yourself to everyone around you that can't even see you, because you can't even see yourself. And they reflect everyone around you. This has been such an eye-opener to me, is all of your relationships will give you the feedback you need to show you where your block is. So if people are and this can be on many different levels, if people aren't respecting you or respecting your time or and this is on different levels, because I live a life where it's not that it's the subtleties, everyone in my life loves and respects me. But I've just been realizing on a deeper level, the places that I want to go, that I feel often the people around me are unwilling to go. The expansion that I want to see and experience and give and receive. And how, to be frank, I've still feel I've been, this is going to sound harsh, but casting my pearls to swine, as it says in the Bible. And this is all unconditional love. This is all compassion for everyone. But I just realized, that's part of the unworthiness theme I've been realizing in my life, is I'm still trying to save and rescue people that don't want to be saved and rescued. And with everything in life, there's an equal exchange. And so, and on earth, you can experience heaven and hell and everything in between. And I want to experience heaven. I've already been in the hell realms. I've seen the hell realms. I've come up out of the hell realms. Sometimes I still go in there, but I'm not trying to live in the hell realms. I'm so good on it. And if you're still watching this, then, you're the same. We're trying to experience and be these pioneers, again, of what's possible. Dare to see and believe and experience and go after a higher love, if you will. And to do that, you have to get out of your comfort zone again and again and again, and in a sense, and realize that all your fear is an illusion, and that you are safe, and that you are loved, and that you are okay to be who you are, truly, and that you are capable of being highly compensated for who you are, naturally, not just financially, but in all ways. And so there's an equal energy exchange with everything. So, whether you're, if you're in this higher sort of wavelength, where you're living in this holistic way, more intentionally, trying to seek this higher love and truly be about it. And you're going around trying to rescue or save, or even it's a lightweight form of control people around you to any extent, even if it's subtle, that don't want it. There is an equal exchange still happening, because the people that are in the lower realms, and we're all one, so there's no judgment, but it's just the fact of it, like the people that are still in the lower realms that truly don't have a desire, really, at least not to the extent that maybe you do, to rise above it. They want to stay they want to stay comfortable. They're not willing to do it, and you're still trying to give them all this stuff, and you're just draining yourself in order to try to save and rescue the people that, if they really wanted it, they would, is the thing I've learned. There's still an energy exchange, because they're feeding off of your light one way or another, and this could be happening unconsciously and unintentionally. It's not that they're bad people at all. It's just, what's happening. You're giving all your light to these people that don't really care or respect it or see it. And it's not that they're, maybe even trying to, it's just they maybe don't have the bandwidth. And then God bless you for that, that's great. There's ways you can be of service to them. I'm not saying that at all. That's actually what I'm getting to, is what I'm learning, the real way to be of service to them. But I'll get to that in a moment. There's still an energy exchange happening, because they're, feeding off of your light in one way or another. And, in a way, you're hopefully learning from that and getting experience from that, as I have been. But ultimately now it's just sort of culminated to realize, that's not what I want to do anymore. For me to be leaking my light to not just people, but also things that are not serving me. And everything is a paradox too. Remember that. Everything is a paradox. Because it's I really, want to go after, and pursue this selfless service. At the same time, you do have to be selfish in a way, because you have to have this self-preservation. And I just keep learning and finding through trial and error that the more you truly allow yourself to seek the heights that you're capable of, and stop letting other people or things hold you back, the more you're going to be able to rise and shine into your potential. And that's the place where you can really serve, where you're really full. Your cup is really full of energy, of abundance, of love, of resources, of wisdom, of clarity, versus when you're trying to save all of these people that simply don't give a shit. Really, for being really honest and blunt, don't give a shit. That's not the game I want to play anymore. I've already done that. And I know how it goes. It leaves me drained and feeling crazy, because I'm trying to, again, I'm casting my pearls to the swines. I'm trying to share these nuggets, these life-changing things that have potential to change one's life, to people that don't care, that don't see it. And that's okay. It's nothing against them. I still love the fuck out of them. I still love the fuck out of them, you know? But I'm just realizing a new way to be. And I'm sharing that today. Because it's also a matter of respecting and loving yourself and your time and your energy, and just realizing how to be more, I don't know, I guess efficient, but not efficient, but just aligned with it. Because, and I've learned this again time and time, because when you do that and you shine bright in your light, in your power, in your fullness, in your wholeness, now you really are working magic without even trying. And you can still share love and be of service to these people, and you're going to be way more of service because you're a walking example of what's possible, you know? It's not necessarily, I mean, it depends on the scenario that you literally have to cut people off, but metaphorically you do sometimes. And then you can come back and be way more of service to them versus running around trying to save people that don't want to be saved. When you could be working with people that are like you or better. And I think that's really when your life starts to catapult, because you don't feel crazy. You don't feel this sort of gaslighty feeling. You know, when you're sharing pearls with swines, it's not intentional, obviously, but it's almost like a gaslighting feeling, because it's like you're sharing something very pure and true, and people are just shitting on it, whether they're actually shitting on it or whether they're just ignoring it or glossing over it or just not willing to actually contemplate it. And then now it's like, you know, it's not allowing you to grow in the capacity that you could be growing if you are sharing those pearls with someone who would actually have reverence for them and for you, that has the level of reverence that you have for life and for the sacredness of all things and for the expansion and creation of life and joy, and being willing to put in the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears that it does take to be free, you know? And then again, it's a paradox. We're already free, but then when it comes to embodying that freedom and truly living it out, it takes a lot. And that's, you know, the truth of why a lot of people don't want to go after it. Because you literally have to die and be reborn. And that sounds great and all, but when it comes time to die, nobody wants to die. But are you willing to actually die for it? Metaphorically. Again, letting that ego, letting those paradigms, letting those thoughts, those old versions of you, those entity attachments that you've been feeding, let it go. And leap into the unknown that you might not see or understand, but you know and you feel, and you're guided by God within you, that this is a higher way, it's a deeper way, it's a more free way. And that you do deserve it. You are worthy of it, and you can have it. You don't have to keep casting your pearls to swines. You're the one doing that to yourself. You know, and it just brings chaos in your life that you can do, you can face, you can learn from that. That's what I've done for all my life. And I just keep remembering and coming back again, these iterations of worthiness, realizing that there's a higher way to be, and I don't have to do that. That it's really important to keep holy company, because everyone you share space with is sacred. Every single being, every time you share space with someone, you're creating a hybrid of you and that person or those people's consciousness. So are these, you know, people on your wavelength are better? Maybe better is not the right word, but you know what I mean. People that are on your wavelength, that have the level of integrity and love and perseverance embodied in them, or more, because it is important to have people that you can learn from with anything, whether it's consciousness like this, or, you know, you're trying to learn a skill. You know, there's that saying, like, you don't always want to be like the best one in the room, because that's what's going to help you expand. So again, if you're constantly around people that have no interest in what you are trying to actually do, you're going to feel bummed and gaslighted and exhausted because nobody's getting it. And there's, again, no judgment, no resentment, no hatred at all, hopefully. If there is, again, that's your responsibility, 100%, because it's not on them to make you feel good. That's on you to find the goodness that's already in you. And God bless them and thank them for the mirrors that they are, no matter what kind of mirror you're seeing. God bless them. God bless them for showing you maybe where you're not seeing your worth and your potential. Because we need these lessons. We need that kind of thing to finally see the truth and be honest with ourselves about where we are, where we've been, where we want to go. And so it's so beautiful. I adore life. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. This is a really important thing for me. Again, anyone here who's here that worthiness maybe is a big thing for you. Just opening up to realizing you are worthy of it. And that's what's going to change your life, when you really start opening up your heart and mind to realize you are worthy of being extremely loved and abundant and free and happy and fulfilled and all the things just for being you. And anyone who's still, for some reason I can still sense it, like with those entity attachments or whatever's going on in your aura, that's still like, no, I don't deserve that. We don't just deserve things. Like, that's the fucking lie. That's the liar. Don't come at me. Like, that's the liar. And I'm telling you from my own experience. So don't put that on me. And I wish you wouldn't even put that on yourself, because it's just the illusion. It's just the illusion. It doesn't want, it wants to keep you in that. But do you want to stay in that? It's your choice. 100%. It's always your choice. When you truly make a choice. And if you are having worthiness, you probably have the doubt, the self-doubt, the discouragement, all this stuff too. You really got to learn to fucking let that shit go at all costs. Let it go at all costs. I am one that I have had to cut through jungles of doubt with one machete, metaphorically speaking. Not even kidding. The amount of doubt and self-doubt that I've had to cut through in this lifetime is unfathomable to even me. Like, how can somebody have so much self-doubt? How can somebody be so insecure about who they are, truly? That's Earth. That's Earth. But again, how did I get through that? By being relentless, truly being relentless in my pursuit for truth and love and joy and all these things. Peace, truth. It's the truth. Truth is divine love. Going back to the Course in Miracles. Everything that is real. Wait, what is it? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. I'm going to kind of go into another concept, but it's like with creation, creating your reality. And this is the truth. I've come to this time and time again, even through the thickest illusions that are trying to tell me, no, you don't create your reality. You do create your reality. So your mind needs to be freaking clean and clear. And what do I mean by that? It's not even that actually it's more just like you need to be in your heart. Because you don't even need to, have a perfect mind to be in perfect consciousness. You just have to realize what the mind is and what it's saying and doing from that perfect consciousness that's already in you now, right now. And practice that. And it builds momentum and it reveals itself to you. But what you're creating, so this is the thing that's so deep, that when people get this, like, you get this. And this is next level. This is what really changes your life. You're seeing this reality through the filter of your mind. 100%. Get that. Get that. You are seeing this reality through the filter of your mind. So if you have these filters, these like karmic matrices of unworthiness, that's how you're seeing. And that's the feedback that you're going to get, because that's what you're holding. That's what you're believing. And it's not hard as you think. It's easier than you think to start to